A Controversial Story in Ebonics by Shatriya Smith. I's full grown, about 15. I's been sold to a man that's mean. For 3 years I clean in a hurry. My massa seem mighty scurry. I's wondering if I ever get out of this slavery. I hope in 2016 any man's choice will be free. I's can imagine now. My massa pulled me out the fields. Gotta go in the house 'cause there's taters to peel. When my massa was nice and settled, he snatched me up and gave me a baby in the middle. I was wondering if my child will ever have a chance. I reckon in the future he might be a man. I can imagine now. My massa wife done found out. She minced mighty glum. She beat me good like ne'er another one. I's tried to tell miss it wasn't my fault, but she kicked me in the belly and says I was caught. I hope in the future they's got laws for treating folks. I wonder if we ever have a mind to vote. I's can imagine now. I's been sold to the massa down the road. I hear them say they treat us real cold. I's don't want to go. I's don't want to leave. But my master say that I's just property. Now I's old. I's no longer purty, no longer sturdy, and I've been beaten longer than my age. I's can imagine now, one day my children will make a way 'cause of the dirt roads I've paved today.
Tell me from the start that you played around, it would have been fine. Then I would have played too, and I guess I would have had a good time. If you told me from the start that you played around, it would have been fine. Then I would have played too, and I guess I would have had a good time.
Smith. If you have your own opinion, they don't want your advertisement. If you have your own idea, they don't want you to realize it. If you dedicate your ebbs and flows, they will listen and already know. If you speak of awareness, it will seem the likes of which is like a dream. Surreal and disconnected, insurmountably affected, emancipated for the right to speak and stand and fight. To enhance the mediocre glow by speaking up, it's time to show the worth of us, standing strong, charging at the gate for the best of us, hiding down in the natural state. Yet, let's not wrongfully misunderstand the task that is at hand, that it will take all of us to free fiction from man. The thought is kind, without question, to give the job to Judas. But in the end, he put us down. We knew he would do this to us. Don't lose focus and make a way to participate for the Savior's sake. Plant all the things that are so dear, and by yourself be loud and clear. If you have your own opinion, they don't want you to advertise it. And if you have your own idea, they don't want you to realize it. Thank you.
Welcome back, Icons. I am Vincent-Tennell. If you're just now tuning in, we have a new guest here with us, Shatriya Smith of Faith Coalition for the Common Good. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Shatriya, at the beginning of the show, she was the woman that did the poetry.
Yes.
Okay, so you wear so many hats, and we've had many people come here from the Faith Coalition, so we pretty much know what they do.
Right.
Let's go into some of your other agendas that you have going on.
Yes.
So you are the precinct committee chairperson for 23.
Yes.
Okay, and you ran uncontested.
Right.
Okay, so all of us don't know what that means.
Okay, well, I was lucky enough, having had communications with Doris Turner in the past, I had asked if I could have my precinct. And there was somebody in that precinct, but I remember like knocking doors and getting people registered to vote.
You knocked on my door, actually.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I said, I really wanted my precinct. I'd been living in my area and in the same house since I was 16 years old. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So you know the community.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your overview of Springfield politics?
Very good question. And there are a lot of different facets of the politics here, and you have to learn how to compartmentalize the different things that are going on. So for instance, I'm supporting residency here in Springfield, and for those that don't know a lot about residency, If you work for the city and the state, that means that you and you live outside of the city, and that means you're taking money outside of the core needs for our community, like schools, better housing. It brings more city money into the city, and
Right.
I really do appreciate that. I support direct care workers because I did that at the Hope Institute for Children and Families for 11 years. And so I still talk to the politicians in regards to making sure that there's funding allocated in the budget to make sure that they are having a decent wage, a living wage. I'm really in support of having young people more involved into what's going on in their communities, because most of the time there's nothing to do for young people. It's because they don't have a voice. And if I can be at any way possible in support of making sure that their voice is heard, that's something that I would like to do. A few of the other things are, the things that are in litigation right now, like Popular Place Road, that I really can't touch because until the lawyer does his job, there's no real actions that can be done. More businesses on the east side. I'm really pushing to see that corner on 11th and Ash to be filled with a business that encourages job growth, not only for the city, but for the African American community over there on my side of town that's close to my precinct. In addition to that, just getting people more involved and letting them know what's going on. One of the things that I've recognized is there are tons of opportunities, but if you don't know about those opportunities, they're not opportunities.
Right, right.
So I have a Facebook page, and it's called Precinct 23. You can check it out. It posts jobs, events that are happening in the community, where the free food drive is going on,
Right.
which I really appreciate. And it just helps the community know what's going on.
It's like that one-stop shop.
Yes.
Where you can get everything.
Yes.
So much, like you say, if you don't know, because it's
Right.
so spread out. Well, if you have one site where you can see it all, I've been there. It's really good. It's really helpful.
Thank you.
I'm a Facebook head, so.
So am I. I have 5 pages.
See,
so,
yeah, I have 3.
We're on the same page.
Do you ever plan on running for a higher office?
I really do appreciate the fact that, we have people that are pushing for a change in the way things are going. It needs to be more democratic. It needs to be more constituent oriented, where if your constituency supports something, then you should support something.
Right.
And I think a lot of that is being kind of halted, or there's a higher calling for pay for play politicians, where it's unfortunate that the voices of the people that are really into it and interested in positive change are not being heard because the money leads the politicians in a direction that, their constituents might not go. I would think that possibly in the future I could run for office. One of the things that I would like to see change prior to that is that game, that pay to play system that's out there, because I don't hold ties to, well, I'll stab you in the back a little bit, but it's for the greater good.
Right.
And I don't hold ties to, you're not allowed to say this right now because we have to play the party game. And that scares me, because if we're playing the party game, we're not listening to the constituents. We're not really putting forth the efforts that we should for their benefit. Just recently, we were at the Capitol building, and luckily for me and my co-workers at the Hope Institute, we were able to get support on a bill that was in committee in regards to making sure $15 an hour wage increases for direct care workers, direct support workers for children and adults with developmental disabilities. When you take into consideration that this young lady started 12 years ago at $8.80, and 12 years later, she hasn't completed a $1 increase.
That's horrible.
That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Those are slave wages. And we are dealing and working with the most vulnerable people in the entire state. We're teaching them the things that they need to do in order to take care of themselves in the future. things that we take for granted on a regular basis.
Because I think a lot of times people don't want to speak out because they don't want to lose their job. They don't want to ruffle those feathers. They just want to work. And they're thinking about security before they want to hold the flag.
Is that
you know what I mean?
I agree with you, and I wonder, does that stem from a plantation mentality?
I think it does.
Because if I keep my head down, they'll take care of me. If I don't say anything, they will look out for me. If I don't ruffle any feathers, I won't be on the chopping block. But you see repetitively that there are people that are constantly put in situations because they've kept their head down, because they didn't raise their voice, because they didn't, try to figure out a different avenue for them to speak up for themselves. And people will continue to get rolled over as long as they keep their head down, stay out of trouble, and it's dismissive to people that work really hard.
To end up in the same place, thinking you were doing the right thing.
Isn't that unfortunate? What they say, there was a saying: those who work really hard will make $1 million. If you work really hard, you'll make $1 million. I have seen some of the hardest working, impoverished people in my entire life working with kids with developmental disabilities, and this is not charism where you're like at a Catholic church where you give your life to Jesus and you take just as much barely to feed and clothe yourselves. These are women that have more than one child and have to take care of all of those responsibilities and go to work. They're getting mandated on a regular basis. There's, investigations that are unfounded that take them away from their livelihood and could damage them in the future. So it's a big deal that we need to really come together and make sure that we are not only taking care of our responsibilities as taxpayers to make sure that those people that we're taking care of have good people to take care of them at a wage that they can live on their own.
Absolutely. Moving on to a lighter subject, just tell me what comes to mind. What is joy?
Oh, joy is something, it's like a topical cream.
A topical cream.
You have to put it on every day. Sometimes you have to lather it on. Sometimes you need it repeated. Somebody might come and put the joy on you, okay? Because it doesn't last. It's like lotion.
Yeah.
You can have that joy.
It
dries out, and you got to replenish that joy. So joy is laughter.
Okay.
Joy is hope. Joy is great memories. Joy is the smell of the best meal you've ever had just wafting over your face. Joy is your family, your children. And as long as you remember that joy is topical and you can put it on yourself, you can always have it.
I like that. At what age did you start actually reciting poetry?
Wow, I was in high school and my grandmother took me to, she helped me set it up. It was so nice. So I did a play, a one-man show at the Greater All Tabernacle Church of God in Christ.
I know where that is. My auntie goes there.
Yeah. And they gave me an avenue to do a poem. And so I did the Paul Laurence Dunbar Antebellum sermon, which is my favorite. In addition to, I spoke as a young child talking about Harriet Tubman. And I did a song. And of course, as usual, shaking like a leaf.
Yeah.
I finished the song and I, walked off stage and everybody seemed to enjoy it. And my grandmother was really proud of me.
Do you think poetry is a dying art?
It's being
reconstructed?
It's being reconstructed. It's being revived.
Okay.
So whereas poetry had a lot of different avenues. You could have poets from all over the planet do poetry that they did well. I think African American poetry is starting to grow where we didn't have a voice. And, when I started, it was rapping, but I'm not that kind of girl to rap some of the things that you hear on the radio in public. I couldn't belittle myself
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
to go out and say these things in public. If my grandma didn't want to hear it, I'm not saying it.
Just to get that attention.
Just to get the rise, right. So that 15 minutes of fame where you're depicting yourself as something less than a queen, or you're pushing yourself into a corner as a thug, or I think that's belittling to who a person is. You could have thug ways, but you're not a thug 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Especially if you have kids. Especially if you have a grandma.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? But that's the vision in which people are seeing. Like, I'm a thug, I'm a hood. I'm none of those things. But I can get there.
If need be.
If need be.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I got a cast iron skillet.
Okay.
Or don't walk up on this cast iron skillet, which is my favorite. But in the meantime, I just don't want to belittle myself. So poetry was the next step that I could say things to the completion of an entire story without having to put myself down, but expressing how I felt.
Okay. I believe I had asked you, did you read the Alicia Keys book?
You know,
Her poetry book.
You would ask. All right, so I haven't read the entire book or a piece of it, but I have watched it on video. And Alicia Keys is beautiful inside and out. I don't know if there's something that she can do that's ugly
Right.
yet.
She's
I haven't
just that
seen it.
woman, that
She's-
classy
yeah,
woman.
she has a classic, people, I look up to her because she never put herself in a position that was less than her. She was never convinced to put herself in a position that was less than her. And when I did watch the video of her doing her poetry segment on YouTube, I was amazed. She has great tone. She has great cadence. She has a respect and demure, personality. But when it comes to like saying what she needs to say, it's very strong, forthright, and it hits the point. So
It hits the point without being so overzealous.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely, she definitely has a feminine touch on hers that I respect and look up to.
Now, you have your own book coming out.
Yes.
Okay, what's the name of that?
It's called The Poem Tree.
Okay.
It's a culmination of things that I've gone through in life and things that I've heard about, things that I have questioned. And I'm pretty feisty, so it comes off a little edgy. And,
we heard the poem.
And I'm not afraid to say things. So
Right.
So I just put it out there, and we'll see what comes out of it.
So you also do wine and poetry.
Yes.
At your home.
Yes.
Is there certain days?
It is closed to the public as of now. I have about 70 people.
Really?
That know about it, and about 30 people that have come to my home and participated.
It's exclusive.
It's exclusive.
Invite only.
Invite only. And the reason that is because it's my home.
Yeah.
I
Can't let
want
everybody in.
Yeah, stranger. Oh, this is Jim Bob. I met him asking for money on the street, and I'm like, well, that's fine.
Right.
Not today.
But you can
'Cause
encourage.
Joe, I would feed him. I would feed Joe on the corner.
You can encourage other people to do it in their homes. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it can be
Yeah.
that trickle effect.
Well, I cook, and I have activities, and then we have wine, of course.
Of
so,
course.
And then so the different wines that we've had. So for Valentine's Day, we had the 50 Shades of Grey wine. And last month, I think, or the month before, we had a homemade organic wine, red
Okay.
and white. So I like to highlight the wines. We also have games. So you have to, as an activity, a starter activity, and they're always
Icebreaker.
fun. Yeah, they're always so much fun.
I've been trying to find that Gabrielle Union wine. Have y'all found that yet?
Not yet.
Have you heard of it?
No, but I
No?
would like it. When you find it, let me know so that I can.
I can't find it in town, of course.
It's too expensive for me, man.
Civic engagement is something I really wasn't familiar with myself. So can you give us, what does that term really mean?
Well, it took me a while to figure it out. Okay, civic engagement, I had to get involved in order to find out. But civic engagement means get involved.
That's it.
Really, you get involved with your community. You find out what you can do and your time span. So what I did was, when I joined the Faith Coalition for the Common Good, I started going to the civic engagement meetings, and I became the secretary because I'm great at taking notes, being a writer and all that.
Absolutely.
So I started there, and then we have task force for the community, and that's getting the youth involved in an advisory board, community service, so that they can talk to the Mayor Langfelder and the city council and tell them the things that they need. Like, I would like a kids center. We've been having people come and asking for them, and it's not really justifying, and it's not getting the job done. So
Right.
we want the politicians to say no to the kiddos.
Right.
If you're not going to do it, say no to them.
With a straight face.
Right. Wait a minute. There's something else. Civic engagement. So, what else do I do? Oh, we have started this really awesome thing with the Faith Coalition. It's called Sacred Conversations.
I've heard of that.
And
Yes.
so I am just starting to facilitate on Sacred Conversations, which basically talks about race and power and systematic racism and how we can change that. And so I'm really passionate about that. I look forward to encouraging open dialogue with respect, understanding, and appreciation for growth, and just making Springfield. I mean, come on, we're Lincoln. Lincoln started this mess, and we're here to finish it. We are not going to allow for somebody to tell us that there are two kinds of people. There's a person over here that's 2/3 of a person. There's a person over here that's a whole person. We're done with that.
Right.
We're ready to overcome and grow.
I hope so. Like, why did you actually stay in Springfield?
I have a tribe here. I want to call it a tribe because it's not just my family.
Support system?
It's my support system,
Yeah.
and it is really a lot of people. So we have family from Cairo, Illinois, that came here in the early 50s, and then we had family on my Logan side that has been here for almost that long, and we just have I have a great system here. Not only, like I said, the family, but people that have helped me to grow up and to understand where to put my 2 feet and how powerful that is.
If God has a Facebook, what does it look like?
If God had a Facebook, what would it look like? Like my page. Well, I don't know if it would be like my page because I'm quite feisty. And I'm not sure if...
Well, we're all made in his image.
Right.
So.
Well, to the point that I agree, but I disagree because sometimes I have short patience and I have to remind myself that we're here for learning. I don't think that it would have issues in regards to thou shall not be gay. Thou shall not be, treated equally. You know what I'm saying? Thou shall not pass laws to treat folks unjustly.
Right.
I think it would be more
Throwing stones.
no throwing stones. Boy. Okay, that's
Are you still doing the one-woman show you spoke of before?
When I do my one-woman show, it's at Bar None. They have like a Tuesday night, Torch Tuesday, and on Wednesday they have poetry. And so I'll go up there and I'll do a couple of poems and I'll do a couple of songs and maybe a rap that coordinates with it. But it doesn't include the Paul Laurence Dunbar verbatim, but I
Right.
still do that. Yeah.
Okay, so you're a mother
Yes.
and you're not single.
Correct.
So all of you out there who are wondering, she's taken. I want to ask you what I ask all of my guests. What makes you iconic? Because we're all iconic in our own different way.
Well, with that being said, it's because I breathe.
I've never heard that before. Can I steal that?
Yes. If we are all iconic in our own way, all we need to do is learn how to be that icon.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
I'm so going to use that and act like I came up with it.
you can have it.
What's
But
your
if you make money off of it, I want some proceeds.
Okay, we'll put you on, the paperwork.
Thanks.
What is some final things you want to say before we leave?
Um,
What do you want to leave with the people?
I
Your
want to
last
leave with the people.
impression?
Joy is topical cream. You can put it on in the morning. You might have to repeatedly apply it throughout the day, but you have it within you to keep that joy. So keep it up.
Absolutely. Thank you, icons. Be well.
Ha 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 ha. Ooh, ooh. Ha 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 ha. See, once upon a time we swore not to say goodbye. Something got a hold of us and we changed. Then you sat alone and cried, and I sat alone and cried. How'd a fairy tale just end up this way? We went round for round till we knocked love out. We were laying in the ring, not making a sound. If that's a metaphor of you and I, why is it so hard to say goodbye? I can't wait to hate you, make you hate like I do. Still can't shake you off. I can't wait to break through these emotional changes. Seems like such a loss, 'cause I can't wait to hate you, break you down so low. There's nowhere left to go. I can't wait to hate you.
Systematic racism is your fight, still you don't know my name. Systematic injustice is your fight, still you don't know my name. If you respected me, if you cared for me like you say you do, wouldn't you know my name? If I were distorting freedom, enhancing turmoil with ignorance, death, defeating, depleting all, would you know my name? How long will I let this go on? How long will you continue? How long will we stand blind with purpose, purposefully? You are the one in charge and you don't know what's going on, belittling repetitiously. While holding yourself up higher, you are belittling yourself unabashedly, unknowingly. I could do so much more for you, but you look down on me and you don't know my name. I could lead you to greatness and take you to prosperity, still you don't know my name. I could change the world for the better and show you what we're made of, still you don't know my name. Am I not worth remembering? Am I not worth lifting up? Am I inconsequential of support like a penny in the rough? It's easy for those who've just met me, drunk strangers at the bar, employers who pay me less than my worth, and men that want my thighs from afar, women who don't like my sense of self, as it may be, or users who want me to do more for free. But I've seen you, and I've worked with you, and I know who you are, and you don't know my name. And you have seen me, and you say you work for me, but you don't know my name. If my name were Becky, Kelly, John, or Bob, would you go out of your way to disrespect me and call me by another, blaming me for the flow of fauna? How can you save me if you don't know my name? If I acted like you or treated you like you treat me, would I be a better person? How do you say that you're working for a greater good and you don't know my name and you don't try to get to know this person? I am the one who sees the darkness of your plight. I am the one 2 weeks away from homelessness every night. I am the one with 2 jobs and still can't make ends meet. I am the one $100 too much for assistance and $500 in the deep. I am the one mandated to the brink of insanity. I am the one hungry, desolate, completely. I am the one unqualified but worthy. I am the one that's enduring the pain, but you don't see me because you don't know my name. Are you conscious of your callous? Are you aware of your disdain? Is there hope in this conundrum if you don't know my name? If systematic racism and injustice is your fight, why don't you know my name if that is your plight? My name is not the poor. My name is not the homeless. My name is not the uneducated. My name is not the soulless. I have a name. My mother gave it to me. And without that name, what do you really see? Thank you.
'Cause I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him. Maybe I should call. Maybe I should call. I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him, I love him. But I'll never call. Maybe that's my flaw.